Let's watch the cards I got from 100 times using the Max Out Cards Exchange feature in Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 and to turn on the bell if you like this video. So you're seeing now the four very first exchanges that I made with this feature. But let me specify right from the start of this video something. I'm not going to make any statistics table with those 100 exchanges. That's very simple because the stats would not mean anything. Indeed, all players have different max out cards. So the stats that work for me won't apply to most of players in Tennis Clash, especially newcomers. And why is that? That's because when I started to use the Max Out Cards Exchange for the first time back in December 2020, I already maxed all cards from Tour 1 to Tour 8, all common cards, sorry, except the Zeus, and all rare cards from Tour 1 to Tour 8, except Natural Energy and the Shield. And you're going to see in this video that I have maxed out the Natural Energy shortly after, and now I'm very close to get the Shield at level 13 too, which is its max level, because I use the refreshing with James a lot. So I got the Zeus and the Natural Energy pretty fast, as I said, and now I need only 2 more exchanges to max the Shield, and then I will have 3 epic slots in this max out card exchange section. So stats will not be meaningful given that particular setup of the 3 slots for me. So now let me remind you quickly about the history of this feature. For the end of 2020, the publisher had promised a solution to take advantage of the extra cards that a lot of players have after having maxed them out. And finally, this feature was released in mid-December 2020, and the solution is called Max Out Cards Exchange. So the first time you have a max out item that has the required minimal quantity of exceeding units, you will see a pop-up and a new section called Max Out Cards Exchange in the store of your account. That means that newcomers in Tennis Clash who don't have any max out card yet will not see this feature in their store. That's normal. In the sub section, you will be able to trade the exceeding units of your max card for new ones which are not maxed out yet. Don't worry, the game will not propose you max cards again, fortunately. So I'm saying that for players who are new to the max out cards exchange. Of course, if you have already exchanged several times using this feature, you already know that, but just ignore what I'm saying and let just the newcomers discover it, because I'm not going obviously to comment what cards I'm going to get while opening those bags, like Natural Energy, the Shield, the Titan. Okay, it's useless saying that. Okay, you see that on the screen, so I'll say other things. So you will be able to trade your max out card having most exceeding units. In this video, you can take the vegan diet card as the example. If you have the most exceeding units in your vegan diet card, then you will be able only to choose the exceeding units of this card for the exchange, because it is the card which has the highest surplus, so the highest number of extra cards. The minimum amount of exceeding max cards on a single item to trade in is 6 epic cards or 60 rare cards or 600 common cards. So that means that if you have max a common card but have only 599 extra cards, then you won't be able to exchange for other cards. Not yet. You need to get at least 600 common cards, 600 extra cards, okay, before being able to start the first exchange. Now, with the extra cards of your item having the highest surplus, you can choose to receive either 3 epic cards, the purple cards, or 30 rare cards, meaning the orange cards, or 300 common cards, the blue cards. These options will unlock cards that you haven't maxed out yet, and you will have to select one. Be careful when doing it, because once you tap on the confirm button, this selection is irreversible. So the exchange rate is 6 epic cards in exchange for 3 non-maxed out epic cards, 60 rare cards in exchange for 30 not maxed out rare cards, and 600 common cards in exchange for 300 non-maxed out common cards. So if you have 600 vegan diets, you can exchange them to get, let's say, 300 desserts card. So that means 2 cards in exchange for 1 new card of the same card class. So don't worry, the cards that the game will propose in the exchange cannot be max cards. So the exchange will always be useful for your upgrades. But sometimes, because the 3 cards that are proposed are random, it can happen, of course, that they are not used in your main lineups. So that means that you won't find those cards useful at all. In that case, well, you will need to hope to get more luck during the next exchange. So what can you do when the 3 proposed cards are not interesting for your builds, for the lineups that you're using to play in tour matches or in tournaments, for instance? Well, you can wait to get 3 other cards 40 hours later. Indeed, you can trade in your cards once every 48 hours for free. That means you don't need gems to refresh. However, you can get more exchanges by spending gems, but only 3 times at the most during this period of 48 hours. So if you start exchanging a max card at 1 p.m. your time on Wednesday, for instance, well, you will be able to exchange again only at 1 p.m. from 1 p.m. on Friday. So basically 40 hours later. That if you don't want to pay with gems to get additional exchanges, of course. And that's called refreshing with gems. Now, if you want to exchange 3 more times during this 48 hours time span, then you will need to spend gems in an incremental way. So after the first free exchange, costing you no gem at all, you can pay with 600 gems to get the first additional exchange. So the first paying exchange. Then 1,200 gems for the second additional exchange. And finally, 2,400 gems for the third and last additional exchange over the 48 hours period. And you can see in this video that I have refreshed with gems several times, generally at least once, with 600 gems to get 1 additional exchange. That means 1 free exchange first, and then 1 exchange with 600 gems. In some sessions of exchange, I decided to trade 3 more times after the first free trade, meaning that I use 600 gems, then 1,200 gems, then 2,400 gems. Why did I do that? Well, very simply because I was looking to max out the hammer and the forge quickly, and so I tried to get them through the this feature, and then I use gems many times. But when I saw that it didn't work much, well, I stopped doing that, and I just took time, paying only with 600 gems for the first additional exchange, and then I stopped after that. Very rarely I would use 1,200 gems after that. So, of course, once you have opened the bag to get 3 choices of cards, they will not change. If you restart Tennis Clash, you won't be able to open again the bag for free. If you hope to get 3 new cards, that won't work. You will always see these 3 same cards than the last time you opened the bag. So the publisher has found with the max out cards exchange a good way to satisfy players who are kind of fed up of receiving useless exceeding units for their max cards, but as well to keep them from upgrading too fast at the same time. So the risk of players upgrading their cards too fast is, of course, to create a kind of unbalanced playing field, especially in high tours, where there is no capping in cards level, and where there are a small group of players who already have very high level cards, a larger group of players who are willing to buy cards in the store or to use this max out cards exchange to try and enter the first group, and a much larger group of players who don't have high level cards enough and who will be glad to slowly upgrade their epic cards for free by getting rid of their extra max cards every 48 hours. So this exchange mechanism means as well that you won't be able to exchange all of your exceeding units at once today to get hundreds of missing epic cards for your upgrade, and that may disappoint some players, and the relatively long waiting time, which is 48 hours between 2 exchanges, can be irritating for a lot of players too. But remember, the fact that such a max out card exchange solution exists is already a good thing in Tennis Clash, compared to the old time when we had to collect useless exceeding units for our max cards without being able to do anything with them. We just collect them and watch them, accumulate in our stock like that without being able to do anything. So that's a done something is better than a perfect nothing. In other words, having a solution, even if it may not meet all expectations, well, in my opinion, is still better than having no solution at all. So you may wonder what happens when you have maxed out all of your cards. That will not be easy, believe me. Well, the answer is simple. You will be able to exchange the exceeding units for gold coins. So you will be able to exchange 6 epic cards, or 60 rare cards, or 600 common cards to get 50,000 gold coins. Yeah, only 50,000. Not so cool, right? So you will not be rich like Croesus, but at least you will get rid of the exceeding units of your max cards. So that's cool. So here are some other things to bear in mind with that max out cards solution. If you don't select an option when opening the card exchange option and exit, the store section will present the same bag until you choose one. Yeah, I have already said that, but I prefer to insist on that. So you won't get other cards if you close the app after having seen that the 3 cards that are proposed don't suit you. That would be too easy, right? Second thing, after confirming the trade, a timer will be shown displaying how long it will take for the next daily update. Third thing, if at the refresh time there isn't any tradable max out card, as soon as you get one, the store will be updated with the trade option. Fourth thing, if there are not enough cards unlocked and non-max out for a given rarity, the trade option will be replaced by one of the lowest rarity available. For example, all the rare cards are already maxed out, so the 30 rare cards will be replaced by another 300 common cards. Fifth thing, if there aren't 3 options that match the criteria, so the remaining option will be 50,000 gold coins. Sixth thing, once you have maxed out all common cards and all rare card slots, where you will see 3 epic card slots. Seventh thing, if you haven't unlocked Tour 7 and Tour 8, well, you should not try and unlock them, because it will be easier for you to get the hammer, the forge, and the resistance band from the epic card slots in this exchange feature in your account, because the hammer, the forge, and the resistance band are Tour 6 cards. Indeed, you won't see Tour 7 and Tour 8 epic cards in the epic card slot of the exchange feature in your account if you haven't unlocked Tour 7 and Tour 8. You will only see Tour 1 to Tour 6 epic cards in the epic card slot. So that means you will have more chance getting the hammer, the forge, and the resistance band, which are Tour 6 epic cards. I would like to remind you that. Alright, I'm not going to comment all the cards that I'm going to get from the next bags. I'm going just to show them to you just for your information. You can make stats from those exchanges if you want, but keep in mind, like I said, that the stats will not be meaningful. That works for me, that doesn't mean that it will work for you. However, you can see what kind of epic cards I generally get from those 100 exchanges. Yeah, you can make the count. There are 100 exchanges in this video, and I waited to get 100 well before publishing this kind of video. Well, I hope you enjoy watching me use the Max Out Cards exchange feature 100 times in Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. Good luck for your extra cards exchanges. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 and to turn on the bell to stay tuned for new videos of Tennis Clash. Thank you a lot for your support, and see you soon in Gameplay 365. Bye-bye.